Everything I've always done has been for my own emotion, and it was never done for a brand or a label. It's because I feel it. I had a brain tumor 25 years ago. I came out very well. I was very lucky. I remember meeting a friend of mine, her name was Nina Hyde, and she then told me that she had breast cancer. I went to the fashion industry and said, let's go after this and give it some exposure and support. And I got very caught up in it, and she passed away. And then one day I said, you know, what else can I do? I worked on breast cancer. I certainly didn't solve it, but maybe there's more I can do. And I went to Sloan Kettering.
I was called to Memorial Sloan Kettering, and it was in that meeting that I had the opportunity to tell Mr. Ralph Lauren what I saw as the problem and what I thought could be a part of a solution. He stood up and he shook my hand and he said, Dr. Freeman, I will help you. And that is how the Ralph Lauren Center began.
He talked about people in underserved areas are dying because they can't get help. I felt that sensitivity, helping someone who doesn't have the funds, who doesn't have the know-how. Cancer is not only for the poor and it's not for the rich. It happens to everybody.
We have known from scientific studies that Black Americans die at a higher rate from cancer than other Americans. But people who were poor of all races said the same thing. We meet barriers when we attempt to get into and through this very complex American healthcare system. The idea of patient navigation arose from that, guiding them through the healthcare system through screening, diagnosis, and treatment.
It's Dr. Freeman's philosophy, which I believed and experienced with my mother. My mother thought she had breast cancer and was afraid to go to a doctor in Harlem.
We really try to educate people about what are the things that they're doing that are putting them at risk for cancer. When you think about that population, they have a lot of risk factors. You know, there's a much higher incidence of smoking, of risky behaviors, and yet they're really underserved when they get diagnosed.
The Royal Marsden is one of the leading cancer centres in the world. We conduct around 500 clinical trials every year. We have a major commitment to breast cancer, and our work influences the better diagnosis and treatment of patients throughout the world.
Completely comprehensive, not just in terms of seeing patients with common cancers, but also patients with rare cancers. We see the elderly, we see teenagers, and we have a children's unit as well. A number of drugs have come out of this institution that are now in common use throughout the world.
When one of our trustees, Alexandra Schulman, introduced us to Ralph Lauren, and we started to discuss a philanthropic initiative at the Royal Marsden and to create a breast cancer research centre.
With the new centre, we are going to be able to expand what we do hugely. Real steps can be made to develop new therapeutics and indeed new methods of early diagnosis.
Our mission at the Royal Marsden is to cure more people who are diagnosed with cancer and to improve quality of life for patients who are living with cancer. And the kind of investment in the Ralph Lauren Breast Cancer Research Centre means that we can make a real difference.
I hate when people call me a philanthropist because I see it more coming from the heart and something I could do to improve the environment, improve something. I'm tuned into that.